Hi, my name is Brian Wasik, and this is my brother Brad. Say hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad. How you guys doing?
And we're here in our family's cheese shop. We've been here for 30 years, so we'd like to welcome you to the store. Our father started in this business back in the early 60s. Brad and I were both raised here, basically raised in the back room, unloading cheese trucks, and now we work on the cheese counter just about every day. And there's not a whole lot we don't know about cheese, so you're in good hands with us in the cheese department. In our business, we sure do drink a lot of wine with our cheese, so we know what we're talking about when it comes to wine as well. Although
Among other things.
There you go. So without anything further, Brad's going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing here today.
Well, today I guess we're going to discuss the 3 steadfast rules in cheese and wine, or cheese and beverage pairing. To take you quickly through them, and we'll describe them more in detail as we go on. Local with local. We're going to discuss a cheese from the Loire Valley and a white wine from the Loire as well. Another rule would be strong with strong, light with light. So you're going to have lighter cheeses with lighter wines, stronger cheeses with stronger wines. And I guess the third rule is every rule can be broken. There are no rules, and we'll get into more of that later.
So we're going to start right here. Actually, Brad, do you have the Loire white?
Absolutely.
To pour? We're going to start with Anjou, a wonderful, light, crisp, high-acid white wine from the Loire Valley, almost a Sauvignon Blanc style. And we'll swirl. I get a big note of peach in that, a little fruity. Really light, really crisp, the kind of wine that you want to have on a hot summer day. And today we're going to pair the local cheese with that, which is a Seltzer share. These Seltzer shares came in very fresh, and we've ripened them here down in our cellar. We have a cheese cellar where we ripen all our own cheeses, our own soft ripening cheeses, I should say. And you can see here the cheese is starting to break down on the outside, getting nice and creamy, but we're still going to have that light, fresh chev, fresh goat cheese taste for you, Brad. The cheese is gray on the outside because when they make this cheese, they ash the outside, which is purely for aesthetics and a calling card.
It's a good match.
Really creamy mouthfeel, really lush, vibrant, and hopefully when we pair it with the local cheese or the local wine to the Loire, it should go very nice. Brad, you always pour this heavy. That's a big one. We promised to be on our good behavior today, but who knows. So we have a really light, crisp, high-acid white wine from the Loire Valley. Other great examples of a light, crisp, high-acid white wine is, say, a Sauvignon Blanc, or we've been drinking a lot of South African Chenin Blanc at home. Brad just had me pick up a case that is really good. But the important thing to remember here is Loire Valley, local wine with local cheese. Loire, again, is famous for goat cheeses, light and crisp, as is the wine. And now we're going to move over to Bordeaux, Brad.
Moving from the Loire to Bordeaux, as you can see here, there's no cheese on the plate.
Where's the cheese?
Exactly. Well, Bordeaux is one of the world's best wine-producing regions, one of the most respected regions. So we're going to provide an example with big, light with light. Though the weather and the climate is great for producing wine, the land isn't really great for producing cheese. So what I've picked here to match with the rugged, big, bold red is a hearty cheese that's really going to stand up to the wine. I've picked a aged Pecorino Toscano. That's a hearty cheese that's really going to stand up to the bigger red wine. I think that the salt in the cheese is really going to match well with the tannins in the red.
Oh, that is salty. It's got a nice nuttiness. Almost a dry feeling on your palate. I should have done this reverse, but we'll taste the wine next.
It's perfect.
I get kind of a plummy, fruity nose. Oh, that's wicked together. I like that a lot. So, what happened to rule number 1, Brad?
It worked well.
As we can see, rule number 1 does not apply in this case. So in our next pairing here, we're going to follow rule number 1, which is local cheese with local wine. We have a great Alsatian white. Alsace is famous for their white wines, their Gewürztraminer, their Pinot Gris. This one happens to be a Sylvaner 2004. The only Alsatian white I had in my cellar this morning, so I brought it along. The only reason being is I drink too much of the Alsatian whites, and this is all that was left. I'll have a glass spread.
Absolutely.
And today we're going to pair that with an Alsatian Munster, again the local cheese.
Now, Brian, isn't this Alsatian Munster a little bit too big for this white wine?
Yes, much too big. The wine to me tastes like pears. It smells very tropical almost, a little citrusy. And Alsace, among being famous for their white wines, is famous for their good, strong, robust, stinky cheeses. So this is a much different pairing than, say, pairing number one with a light wine and a light cheese from a local area, or a big wine with a big cheese in example number two. Alsatian Munsters are one of France's leading contenders for stinkiest cheeses, I would imagine. And flavor-wise, it's got this big, voluptuous, full-bodied flavor. And you take the local white wine, that's actually, I would pair this with fish, and match it with the wine. And it's absolutely a beautiful match. It's one of those examples where 1 + 1 = 10. So basically, what we've learned here is none of these rules we've ever talked about, or we talked about today, actually hold true. You can debunk or disprove any rule in pairing wines to cheeses. So that leads us to rule number 3, which is a rule that you absolutely cannot break.
There are no rules.
Pair what you like.
Exactly. You can get very serious and very steadfast in pairing your cheeses and wine, but at the same time, you can really relax, have a good time, have a glass of wine and a piece of cheese, and you don't have to get too pretentious about it at all.